Doodlebud. I was not planning to make another video because I leave tomorrow for the holidays, but then this box showed up and I won't be back for 7 days, and there is no way I'm gonna be able to leave without opening this because this came all the way from Italy and it's from Montegrappa, and this is going to be a special one. When I returned, I was planning to shoot my top pens of 2023. I had the list all sorted out. There was one pen I wasn't quite sure if it's going to be on the list or not, and then this thing showed up, and it could very well take first place. Yep. Very nice looking package. Okay. And there we go. This is the 007 special issue with a 1.1 stub 14K nib. Let's slide it open. I hope which is the right way up. Okay, I think this is the right. I didn't want anything to fall out. We got the 007 on the box. That is super cool. Oh man. I've never had an unboxing like this before. Look at that. Just gorgeous. This flat black. And the embossing on there. Oh, it opens up like that. Okay. Oh, this is like a case that goes with it. Gotta love the gun. Even has 007 on the zipper. Moment of truth. Comes with a few cartridges. Has a special... Oh, it's got all the different Bond movies on this little notebook here. Let's pop this out, have a look. Nice little notebook. I don't think I'll probably use it. I'll keep this. But that's cool. Unexpected. That's a nice detail. Even the cartridges have fancy writing on them. Let's pop out the pen. Let the unsheathing begin. All nicely sealed. Let's pop this open. That is a serious hunk of pen. Wow, that knurling feels fantastic in the hand. This is going to be tough for contrast. Let me change my camera angle because lighting with this type of coloring is going to be tricky. I think that lighting's a little bit better. But there we got Montegrappa on the cap with the 007. These are like special edition pens they do. Looks super cool. The Montegrappa logos. Oh, and then yeah, I seen there's this. Looks like the rifle of the rifling inside of a barrel. Let's see if we can get you up close. I think that's the best I can do. It's even tough for me to see it. And I don't know, is that a chrome bit or a special shiny bit down on the bottom? I'm going to learn more as I do, but I just want to share the initial unboxing with this. Nice clip. Oh, of course it's going to be a mechanical kind of spring clip. These are machined right in there. Really nice. Let's check out this nib. How many turns do we got? Almost 2. Beautiful gold nib. I have never used a stub nib on a gold nib before. So I have plenty of stub nibs, but never a 14 karat gold stub nib. So I have no idea how this writes. Look at that, just gorgeous. This does remind me a little bit of one of my favorite pens, the Faber-Castell Emotion and Stealth Black. They reached out to me and said, we'd like to send you a pen, to which I replied, okay. How would I ever turn this down? Oh my gosh, is that a thread in? Yeah, it's a thread in converter. Whew. I'll like ink it up. I have to ink this up and try it out, see how it goes. And then I'll do a proper review of this pen upon my return so I can learn more about it and see what it's all about. But there's no way this could stay in the box. And then I'd be thinking about this for 7 days. Let's get an ink in here and try this out. Figured before I ink it up, let's get a close look at the stub here. It looks really interesting. So it's got a little bit of blockiness to the shoulders. I'm curious if that will make it a little bit more crisp, which is actually my preference. A lot of stubs are a little more rounded, but you can see you got that little rounded profile there. So I think this is going to be quite nice. I think it's going to have a nice broad downstroke. All right, let's ink this up. Tonight's inking will be brought to you by Private Reserve Ultra Black. I figured I got to use a black ink for this one. I actually quite enjoy this ultra black color, so that's pretty fun. I've been using my platinum ink for a little bit here. They're think it's like Choukuro or something like that. But this ultra black is a pretty fun ink. The bottles though, I've complained about this before, they're so wide. Like there is so much ink in here and it's tough to get to the bottom. And this isn't, you know, a massive pen. So you got to tip it and do that work to it. There we go. Actually, I should use my little ink miser I 3D printed. There we go. We got ink in there anyways, but okay. I'm going to wipe off the rim here just for some good housekeeping. Same thing down in here. It's like doing an oil change with this here. Going to go with my Clairefontaine Flying Spirit book. Just beautiful. They got all sorts of cool graphics on them. Really, really nice book, except for when you spill ink all over it. But I love the this book here. It's even got little perforations. So if you like writing letters, want to tear them out, good for that. And a nice little creamy kind of color to it as well. This, by the way, is the most expensive pen I've ever written with. Currently, lists for $12.95 US. Okay, so initial thoughts. It writes quite nice. It's got a nice flow, obviously a nice wetness to it, good line variation. I'm getting the feel for it. I do find there's a little bit of a sweet spot, just because there's stub there, it seems a little more square on the edges. So I am used to that with cursive italics. I'm just getting used to that on the S there. It missed a little bit, just I had it rotated a touch. So I'm sure I'll get used to the characteristics of the pen. Sometimes it takes a little bit for a different grind to get used to it. But if you got it in the right spot and now you're used to it, yeah, it's a lovely, I mean, it should be. But it is quite a nice writer. I like the way it feels in the hand. It is a heavy pen. Actually, let me get the scale. So let's see here. This is inked up all together. We got 56 grams. So that is a heavy pen. However, when you are writing with it and the cap is off, that's, yeah, like 20 grams there. So we got about 36 in the main body. So it's heavy, but it's quite nice because it's a little bit of a more stout pen. So it actually fits quite nice in the hand and it feels really, really good. So what I'm going to do now is probably go to bed because I have to get up early, pack. We're all leaving tomorrow morning. But I'll put some more time into the pen, see what it's all about, learn some more too, just all about the construction and the special features, and I'll report back, let you know all the things I find, and give you some final thoughts on this pen. So I have returned after using the pen here for a while, and I have been using it constantly. I was just writing with it for, I don't know, 2 hours again before shooting this. I've really noticed some interesting details about the pen. I'm pretty excited about them. I will share them with you right now. Obviously, when I first got the pen, I was super excited. So I just looked at it and went, wow, this looks really neat. And then I started to really look at the design of the pen, and I was a little bit confused, but now it makes total sense. So the knurling on here, it's quite nice, quite grippy, but they call this the special issue. And we also have the rifling here at the end of the barrel, and unfortunately, I just can't get you the contrast. This is supposed to go with James Bond's classic Walther PPK pistol. So the knurling on here matches the grip, the knurling that's on the grip of that same pistol. If you look on the side here, you got a round barrel and it's flat on the side. And well, this is the end of the pistol. So we have, this is the end where the barrel sticks out. This is the slide on the pistol. So it's flat on here, round on the top. And these are the grips that are on the slide. So when you pull back to chamber around, these are the grips that are on there. So this is the matching pen to go with James Bond's Walther PPK. Along with this here too, so they're on the top of the grip. This is the safety that's on there. I think it's also the decocking lever. So I believe that there's something special with the safety that's on the PPK. It's also the decocking lever that's on there too. It has these same stripes, and I believe along the top of the slide between the front sight and the rear sight, they have these same ribs that are on there. They might be kind of wavy on the actual pistol. I know that the models change over time. I'm not an aficionado on that, but I believe that's to replicate those features of the Walther PPK as well. So now this makes total sense, because when I first saw this, it was a little bit blocky. I didn't quite understand these, but now this just makes total sense. This is the matching pen. That's super cool. Like if you yourself or you know someone who is a huge James Bond fan, well, this is the standard special issue pen to go with it. So all the branding and the name and the logos and the design makes total sense now. Like at the start of every James Bond movie, he stands in front and in front of the rifling of the barrel, and he spins with this PPK, takes the shot, and that's the start of the movie. Once I figured out all those little design details, I got even more excited about the pen. Couple other little things. So it's all metal pen. It's a mixture of brass and aluminum. It's mostly brass. It does seal quite nicely. So down in there, it's going to be tough to see. There is a little plastic seal that's down in there just to seal off the whole cap here, so nothing escapes through the clip and all of that. So I haven't had any issues with this sealing or hard starting. How it seals the nib is actually right here and here. If we can get a little bit of contrast, so there is a cap liner right here, and it has a little chamfer there. So now you have two conical surfaces mating together, so they're concentric. So the seal happens right here on this edge where those parts mate, it's quite nice. And of course, when you turn it all, everything lines up with here, the Montegrappa, the 007, and underneath, of course, the nib is lining up with it too. So all of you OCD folks like myself, you can rest assured, every time you cap the pen, the nib is aligned perfectly as well. This sort of matte black finish, just like how the pistol would be, not to attract attention, so everything goes together. And it's just, it's quite nice. I find it quite comfortable to write with. I've been writing with it a bunch. I've emptied the converter several times. I've been using the same ink because I really, really like this ink as well. I think it goes nicely with the pen. It's been smooth, really, really nice. I'll do a little more writing just to show that for you as well. I even measured the line width as well on there, so I'll chat about that in a second. But now I've really grown to appreciate the pen. It does post. It's not overly secure. You can press it down. I don't think it's really designed to properly post. It is large enough though, just on its own. Like I have a pretty large hand, and I don't have any problems with that. I'll do a size comparison real quick here as well. Before I put the pen in the tray for the size comparison, I'll give you the actual dimensions. So length, like so, with the cap on, 142.3. Pop off the cap, you're left with 127. The diameter of the body here is about 13.914 millimeters. I was using my cheap calipers. And then the cap here, it is 16 millimeters, whether you're measuring here or here. So let's put it in here for a size comparison. The other pens I have, we have a Lamy 2000, the pen I mentioned earlier, the Graphon Faber-Castell Emotion in Stealth Black, a Leonardo Memento Zero, the original one, and then a Pilot Custom 823. With the caps off, you can see we're right in very close to the same lengths as the Leonardo. The 823 is a touch longer, and say the Lamy 2000 is a touch shorter. The Faber-Castell Emotion, with the cap off, it is a good chunk shorter. This is why for this one, it's just a hair too short for long writing sessions. That's why I post the cap. On this one, we got that extra bit of length, and I don't need to whatsoever. It's quite comfortable. I think the dimensions of the pen also sort of match the PPK as well. It's compact, but also large enough and can fit in the hand quite nicely too. So I really think there's a lot of thought that went into design. You know, the knurling, this is the right type of knurling you would have on a pistol grip. The knurling on the Faber-Castell, it's really, really good. but this was not what you would want on a grippy pistol. Like you could drop that, versus here it's nice and grippy and it feels just right. Let's finish off by talking about the writing with this pen, because it is absolutely fantastic now that I've written with it even more. I did measure the line width, so this is their stub. They say 1.1. It's very rare you find a stub that's 1.1 that is actually 1.1 millimeters. So I measured it here on the downstroke on a few different types of paper with my calibration slide here, and I'm getting 0.8 millimeters. Now, of course, the 007 branding on the nib is quite attractive. I flipped it over, had a quick look at the feed. Now, this does look to me like it's an ebonite feed. I can't say for sure. I was trying to find information on the Montegrappa site and other sites. No one mentioned it, but I had a look at other ebonite feeds and this one here, and just the porosity and texture of the feed, I think this is ebonite. So now that I've had more time to write with the pen, this nib is just fantastic. You can see these cross strokes are super thin, very smooth, whichever direction you go. Up and down, the flow is just bang on as well. I found it took like a little time for the nib to, I would call it, sort of just break in, just to get it so it's bang on. It would just miss a little bit when I first got it. I think that was me just getting used to the nib itself. Had a little bit of a sweet spot, but also as I wrote with it more, it just sort of, I don't know, just settled in, and now it is just absolutely perfect. Like, it is just, the flow is fantastic. It has that little bit of crispness to it. More stubs are usually a little bit more rounded along the shoulders. This one has just that little bit of crispness to it, which I actually prefer. I would say it's maybe a little closer to a cursive italic, or in between a cursive italic and a stub. But either way, like, it is just fantastic. It keeps up with whatever writing you do. And I think this is the ultimate pen James Bond would use for his signature. Let me show you what I think James Bond's signature would look like with this pen. Now again, this is just me messing around, but if I was James Bond, I think it would be something along the lines of that. It has a little bit of style to it, a little bit loopy, sort of has it in there. Yeah, this is a great pen for doing signatures. What can I say about this Montegrappa 007 special issue pen? This thing's just really amazing. Obviously, Montegrappa, they're known for their, high-end luxury pens. Their market isn't the entry-level user that's going in there who's budget conscious, obviously. But keep in mind that they had another James Bond theme pen, went for about $5,000. So on the scheme of things, a lot of the pens they put out, their special editions, this is actually on the lower point of the price scale. Not saying it's inexpensive. It does cost a pretty penny, but compared to a lot of their other ones, it is a little bit more on the affordable side. But now that I sort of have gotten to know the pen and have clued in on all the design cues, I think it's really slick. It comes with the case. Of course, you got the book that has all the titles of all the Bond movies and the whole series. Everything you need that comes with it. So this is a really, really cool piece, whether it's for yourself or, someone for a gift, something they would absolutely treasure, of course. So I have been really enjoying this pen. Glad I got it before the end of the year, because this is no doubt going to be in the top 10 list of my top pens for 2023. So I'm going to be doing that coming up here as well. Huge, massive thank you to Montegrappa for reaching out and sending me this pen. This has been super, super slick. Want to thank everyone for watching. Without you, of course, this would not be possible. All the thumbs up and comments that you have left, and of course hitting the subscribe button. Without you, this would not be possible. So thanks everybody. Hope everyone's having a great holiday season. Till then, we'll catch you next time.